For Higgins.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. COVID-19 has dominated our lives and wreaked havoc on the health and prosperity of almost every nation on this planet. That said, Australia has done better than most countries when it comes to aggressively suppressing COVID-19 and learning to live with the virus. This is a testament, Madam Deputy Speaker, to the Australian people and the personal restrictions that we have undertaken in order to help keep each other safe. It's also a testament to the trust that we as a country have placed in our Australian governments to deliver safe and secure quarantining arrangements and, of course, effective contact tracing. There have been stumbles along the way, but it's fair to say that we have now achieved, in terms of aggressive suppression, what is to be the envy of the world. But, Madam Deputy Speaker, what next for Australia? With the influx of overseas arrivals hoping to return home for Christmas, it is critical that we continue to defend our borders and stringently enforce 14-day mandatory quarantining requirements. We cannot let our guard down on this front. This remains our strongest defence. It has been what has kept us safe as a nation. But looking forward over the next months and years, in order for this island nation to be able to effectively connect again with the world, whether it is in trade, tourism, international students or Australians simply returning home, we will need an alternative to 14-day quarantining, and that alternative is a vaccine. Thanks to the extraordinary work of researchers here and around the world, the excitement of a vaccine is ever closer to a reality. There are more than 350 vaccines now in trial around the world. Now, over the weekend, it was announced that the National Health Services hospitals in the United Kingdom have been told to prepare for the first deliveries of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine as soon as December the 7th. That is 1 week away, Madam Deputy Speaker, so we're really on the cusp of a completely new world when it comes to COVID management. Madam Deputy Speaker, so far Australia has entered into advanced purchasing arrangements with vaccine manufacturers AstraZeneca, CLS, Pfizer and Novavax. We have contracted for 134 million vaccines directly. I am proud to say the Morrison government will ensure the vaccine is provided free to all Australians. Australia also has had access to a number of other potential vaccines through the international COVAX facility. So we have lots of lines of inquiry open because we understand in research you can never be sure about what's going to develop. So data on vaccine safety and efficacy is very promising, leading to the confidence of a successful vaccine being delivered here in Australia sometime in 2021. The great news is that there are many vaccines showing promising results, not just those that we've invested in, but right around the world. Madam Deputy Speaker, it is also worth noting that 3 vaccine candidates have begun clinical trials in Australia, including one by the University of Queensland using molecular clamp technology, one by Flinders University and Adelaide Company Vaccine, and one by international company Clover Biopharmaceuticals. Australia has always punched above its weight in the field of medical research, and this time is no different. Madam Deputy Speaker, it is also incredibly imperative that we make sure every vaccine is safe and effective. And one aspect of safety and effectiveness, so that we can ensure that there is no vaccine hesitancy about this new development, is that different vaccines may be required for different ages because our immune system appears to be differently and responding differently to COVID. So Australia has enabled the most experienced scientists and biotech and pharmaceutical experts to provide advice through the COVID-19 Vaccines and Treatments for Australia Science and Industry Technical Advisory Group. Now, this group is essential because we want to ensure we continue to have the trust of the Australian public in this incredibly important development. The advisory group is led by Professor Brendan Murphy, our former Chief Medical Officer, who many will have seen on a daily basis in press conferences, who does have the trust of the Australian community. And he will lead this group of experts to assess and work through all viable options to test, secure and administer a safe and effective vaccine if and when one is finally ready to be delivered. The vaccine will go through Australia's safety tests, and while we all encourage people to take it, it will remain voluntary. Madam Deputy Speaker, the world is looking hopefully to a future we will have contained and controlled COVID. This is a crisis the likes of which we have never seen. But, Madam Deputy Speaker, what distinguishes this crisis from the past is our ability to respond in an unprecedented way, with globally collaborative research to develop diagnostics and treatments like these vaccines to beat this pandemic. This is an incredibly exciting time for the world's scientists. Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker.